This is episode 72 of the EdTech Takeout from Grantwood AA. My name is Mindy Carney, and I'm joined by my amazing and talented co-host, Jonathan Wiley.
Wow, thanks, Mindy. That was a great introduction.
Yeah, that I didn't write, clearly.
It's almost like you read it or something.
Yeah, I did read it word for word. Someone thinks very highly of themselves, apparently.
I guess, yeah.
It's kind of different to do the intro. I hadn't,
How did it feel?
Yeah, powerful, real powerful.
Real powerful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can go with that.
Sure. So, we don't have news and follow-up today.
I feel like this is something we talked about over the break, that we maybe don't always have news and follow-up because there isn't always good news and follow-up.
Right. So why force it?
Yeah. So you get to introduce a brand new segment on the podcast today.
What's on your plate?
What is on your plate, Mindy Carney?
Yeah, so we kind of talked about this. What are we going to do if we don't have news and follow-up? And we're like, oh, well, let's talk about some of our projects that we've been working on with school districts or ideas that we're kind of tossing around. And so we wrote a couple of those things down. Did you want to go first? What's on your plate right now?
What's on my plate right now?
Yeah.
Well, our colleague, Lynn Kleinmeyer, and I are diving into UDL.
You are? Tell me more.
So we are reading a book by Kendra Grant and Luis Perez, and
club for two.
A book club for two.
Oh,
yeah,
cute.
We're accountability partners on this. So, and we both have been feeling that we have a path right now where it's been lots of paths have been leading towards UDL and different things. So we're doing a UDL presentation at Building Bridges on lesson design and things to consider if you want to have a classroom that works with universal design for learning. Okay. And we are also, throwing around the ideas of a course or a class based around all the UDL type things that we're seeing inside of like EdTech tools, like inside of Flipgrid and Wakelet. We've talked about these kind of things before. Yeah. And we're also going to do something at the iTech Learning and Leadership Symposium.
That's in April.
Formerly known as the One-to-One Conference. Yes. So that's kind of what's on my plate right now.
Well, that'd be fun to kind of give updates as you're working on that.
Little pet project.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So in my upcoming future, I'm still doing the Hattie stuff. I have one coming up next week that is about questioning, classroom discussion, and feedback, which I think actually all three of those things kind of go together. So lots of questioning stems that lead into, I think, better, more powerful classroom discussion. And the tools that we usually pair with those two would be, of course, Flipgrid.
Yes.
And Seesaw are the two tools I'm sharing for those. But on top of the huge, awesome list of questioning stems that we've kind of curated, Gina and I, mostly Gina, I should say. And then for feedback, the tools that we're pairing with that are creating a comment bank in Google Keep, because this school district, I don't believe, is a Google Classroom user, because you do have the comment bank within Google Classroom. But so creating feedback stems for Google Docs, because they are using a lot of Google Docs. And then the other feedback was, just knowing how to tag someone in a comment. So tagging students so they receive a notification that they have feedback on their paper. So those two little tips for feedback.
So I was wondering if, just when you were saying that, if potentially Google Keep was actually better for that commenting system, because you could share Keep notes with other people. Right. And so in Google Classroom, every teacher has to individually enter their own feedback stems and things. But you could have some, shared stems that people could have and pull from and use as starters for feedback.
Yeah. And I don't know that, so I think Google Keep's going to be new for them too. So that's always I always feel like Google Keep is people are like, oh, wow, this is amazing. So that'll be fun. And I think, the nice thing about it is being able to see your Keep notes right next to your Google Doc. I think that people are always like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. So.
And I forget about that I use the sidebar in Gmail, but then I forget about it in like Calendar and Docs and other places too. But it's there, which is good.
Yeah, I still flip like to my calendar tab all the time.
Yeah, I know.
But I think it's because I need to see my whole calendar.
I think
I just, right. I suppose there are people that use that pretty regularly. Me, not so much, but
okay.
Yeah. And then I have been working with Jess Quandle, who is one of our literacy consultants, about using Daily 5, which lots of people are familiar with. Did you do Daily 5 when you were in the classroom? Was that a thing?
I did not do Daily 5.
Or Cafe or something like that? Mm-hmm. No. So with blended learning, we talk a lot about station rotation, and a lot of elementary teachers already do kind of that station rotation using the Daily 5. I wouldn't call it a framework, but I would call it like a structure of sorts. So each one of those rotations has a theme per se. And so Jess and I have been talking a little bit about how to amp up those stations to maybe support core instruction.
You feel like they don't support core instruction right now?
Oh boy. You know what? I'm going to say that when I was doing Daily 5 in the classroom, I thought I was doing it really well. When I reflect on it, I was keeping my kids busy and they were happy.
Right.
Now that I am learning more about instruction and having different conversations than maybe I was having when I was in the classroom, I realize that station rotation is still a great model. Maybe there are different tweaks that can be made to those stations to move kids forward in their learning and not just kind of keeping them busy while I'm trying to do small group instruction.
Yeah, I did exactly the same with like guided reading groups and things. When I had a group of kids I needed to do some reading with, I had to not be disturbed. I did not want any distraction, so I would give them something to keep them busy. And I think we've all done things like that before, so I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to amping up Daily 5.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it's going to be called, but that's kind of, I don't know what it's going to be called.
You know, we should find some excuse for getting Jess on the podcast as a guest. I think she'd be a really good person to talk to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I like Jess a lot.
Me too.
Okay. So that's what's on my plate. How about you? Anything else? Anything else you got going on? I know there's nothing on your list. You got nothing else?
Well, maybe this would be a nice transition for what we're going to talk about next. Okay. But I'm teaching a Canva class right now.
Oh, right.
Graphic design class inside of Canva. We just had our kickoff last night. Face-to-face meeting. Get everybody into the Canvas class.
I know. I was going to say Canva and Canvas.
Which is the most confusing thing. Yes, we teach in Canva and Canvas. And they're one letter apart. And I did mix them up a lot last night. Mm-hmm. But yes. So looking at different ways that teachers can use Canva in the classroom to enhance their instructional materials and do different things with kids around design.
So should we move on to the main course?
Let's do it.
All right. Served to you piping hot. We love Canva.
I feel like we talk about Canva a lot.
I know, we do. Yep.
But we didn't really...
We talk around Canva a lot,
which is exactly where I was going. Yeah, we've never devoted a lot of time to talk about Canva.
Yeah.
So...
And we should.
This is it. Yeah. We're going to dive in deep and give you some tips and tricks on how to use Canva to the max.
Yeah. So... Interestingly enough, Canva has this new Canva for Education account. So as teachers, this is my one thing about Canva that I always complain about on the podcast is that it used to be all free.
Yes.
Then they started where you had to pay for certain templates.
Yes.
And then now you have to pay for a lot more than you...
Images and icons and different things on there too.
So the nice thing about this Canva for Education account is that as an educator, you get all of the things for free again. Is it not all? Oh, is it not all?
You get most of the things for free, let's say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is great, yeah. So we've got this new Canva for Education thing, and I still see people on Twitter occasionally like, wait, did I miss Canva for Education? Is now free for...
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so it's there, and that was one of the things we did last night at the class when we met. We got everybody to sign up for that. And I always tell people now, you know, it seems to be, you don't know how long it's going to take to get approved.
Oh.
And sometimes you need to like poke them a little bit and say, hey, remember my application? Did you get that? And I think most of us had to like send Canva a DM on Twitter.
Except for one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to say, hey, can you check it for me? I mean, give them a week or 10 days to, I'm sure they have a lot of applications in there.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
if you don't hear back for a while, they are really responsive on social media.
Yeah, they are.
Send them a tweet or send them a direct message. I think their DMs are open and you can just say, hey, could you check on this for me?
Yeah.
And somebody will. Mine was really simple. Like they went and checked on it and they went, the image you uploaded of your teaching certificate, it didn't come through.
Yeah.
Can you send it again?
Right.
And I sent it to them and they were like, yep, okay, you're done. Approved.
And mine was like, we don't have a request from that email. And
really?
Yeah. So I sent him a screenshot of my email that said that I'd been denied. It was like, are you sure? Here it is. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, you're fine. So.
Okay.
I don't know. There must be a little bit of a glitch somewhere in the system. So if you don't hear back,
And so I had a teacher last night that asked a question about the Canva for Education, and he said, so Canva's new to me, and I don't know if I'm ready to use it with students yet.
Sure.
Should I still sign up for Canva for Education? Yes. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yes.
I mean, if you're going to use it, get all those extra features and stuff in there, and we'll talk about what some of those are here soon, but get all those extra features, whether you use them with students or not. Canva for Education account is for you and up to 30 of your favorite students, which we've also talked about before.
Yeah. Which is okay for some classrooms. For your secondary teachers, that would never work. So can you pay then to add students on? I guess I don't know that.
So I did send Canva a message on this.
I'm sure you did.
So let's say I'm a middle school teacher and I see 120 kids a day.
Sure.
What do I do for this 30 student limit? And they said, well, if you have a teacher like that, tell them to get in touch and we'll try and make it work.
Oh, of course. That's like
that was really
right?
non-committal type of thing. But I think the way they have this set up, because before they did Canva for Education, they did Canva for Business,
right?
Where you could have a team of people and they all had access to the pro accounts.
And we tried that, right? Did we try Team?
I think we tried it for like 30 days or something.
Yeah, right.
But so they've basically taken the same structure and applied it to education, but you don't really have just one team your team's going to be a lot bigger and things.
Right,
so it didn't quite work out the same way. Maybe that will change over time. I guess we'll see. Hey, if you manage to use Canva with more than 30 students, Canva for Education, let us know how you did it.
Yeah, right. And get in touch. Maybe they would give you a cheap deal or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, one of the nice things I showed people last night is if you are adding students, you can import straight from Google Classroom.
Oh, I was going to say, so what's the import process? So
you can type them out individually and put their email addresses in, or you can just say import from Google Classroom and bring over a whole class at once.
Yeah, good.
So there you go. Canva for Education.
Okay.
Sign up.
So if you are new to Canva, you don't know anything about Canva, a little brief description of Canva would be like an online graphic design tool that has lots of templates. And what I love about the templates with Canva is that, like, we use social media a lot. That's part of our job.
Yep.
And that there's specific templates for specific social media. So, like, if I put something on Twitter, that image has to be a specific size, and that doesn't carry over into Instagram. It's like two totally different images.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able, I think, to choose from there. But there are other types of templates, like so many templates, you don't even know what to do with all of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of their stick. This is the magic that makes Canva so attractive for people. It's all those templates. So let's take a look at maybe some of the templates people might not know much about.
Yeah,
because
I learned one yesterday from Amber.
I did too. Yes.
Yeah. She said that you can make like your wallpaper in your phone.
Yes.
That template, like a wallpaper template in Canva.
I know.
And add it as an image as your background. I had never even thought of that before.
And all those middle and high school kids that have got phones and you want to try out some design things with them.
Sure.
Yeah, get them designing phone templates for sure. They also have like desktop wallpaper.
Yeah.
So I don't know if some schools I know will have like a school wallpaper they push out to all the Chromebooks.
Sure.
what if you had a little design competition and had the kids design the wallpaper of the month or something like that,
that's
and
fun.
then have it rotating through as the year goes through. So literally all you do is you pick one of the templates and customize it and make it work for you. So
because it's got a whole bunch of built-in like icons and images and those kinds of things. The nice thing about it is like those templates are all color coordinated, because sometimes it's hard to look at and be like, this isn't quite right, but what color should I use instead? All of that's already kind of built into it, and all of those font colors are pulled, and all the colors that go nicely together. All there for you to choose from.
That's why we like Canva so much.
Yes, so nice, so easy.
Other templates. Book covers.
Yep.
Which I think is interesting if kids are doing creative writing, or if they're doing a book report, or even to try and think about, okay, we've read this book now. What would if you had to redesign the cover for this book, what would that look like?
Right.
So I think that definitely plays into a lot of those ELA things. It's going to show whether the students have a comprehension of what this story is about, what the important elements are. So book covers are a good one too.
Yep. Bookmarks. I didn't know bookmarks was a template.
You didn't know bookmarks was in there?
No,
I didn't either, because when I was putting the show notes together for this, I thought, what else is in here that I didn't know about? So bookmarks.
Graphic organizers. That's pretty straightforward. Newsletters. I've seen lots of teachers use newsletters with Canva and pushing those out with a theme or something like that, which is nice. Resumes.
Programs.
You're looking for a new job.
Well, I mean, we talk about college and career readiness for kids, and they're applying for jobs. Part of that skill is creating resumes and things like that. So that's on there too. Yeah. Programs, I thought, was an interesting one too. I mean, you go to a lot of these school events and somebody's typed it out in a Microsoft Word template or something, which works and is fine, but
kind of. Sometimes it works if you're real careful. Yeah. If you're real careful, it works.
You can jazz these things up a little bit if you use Canva, and they've got a lot of templates in there for like music and theater and dance and all kinds of other events you might have at school.
Yeah. So what I think is really cool about Canva, and I shouldn't talk. I'm going to let you talk more about this because I think you use it. Do you use this with your Canva class? Is the Canva Design School built in? Yeah. So I know we recommend this to teachers a lot too, to have their students use the Canva Design School. So what does it look like? Is it lessons, like a step-by-step, or do you get to choose? Like, I'd really like to learn how to do this, so I go to this lesson. What's it look like?
So you can do a little bit of both with this one. I mean, they have it grouped into like courses you can take. And the courses are usually like a 2-minute video, but then they also have an activity. And the activity is literally a hands-on thing inside of Canva. And it's like, move this to the center, change the color on this, add a hat on the monkey.
Hat on the monkey?
A hat on the monkey is one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
And it basically is just teaching you how to, find elements in the gallery, how to align things with the alignment grids, and how to add images. And so it takes you through all those types of things. So we talk about some of those things on there, and there's no reason why you couldn't, use those with students. They're just all links. You can go straight to different things inside of Canva. So they have Design School for that. They have one called Canva in the Classroom, which I think they should expand a little bit more and talk about Canva education. They don't really talk about that yet, but it's just like, if you're using this with students, hey, here's some of the ideas and things you could do.
Okay.
They've got some for like social media. They've got some for like building a brand kit, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
And I talked to a teacher about this last night, and she was like, so these are we have this at Grantwood where we have like Brand Central. These are the colors we have to use. These are the fonts we have to use. And so this teacher said, we have this for our school district as well. I think it was Cedar Rapids. And these are the colors for our school district. These are the fonts. She goes, how can I save these so that they're always there when I'm creating designs for school? Yeah. And that's what the brand kit is for. You choose a color palette and you say, these are all the colors I want. These are the fonts I want. These are the logos. And you keep it all in there so that when you're designing, you just pull straight from the brand kit and it comes straight in.
That's nice.
And that's only available on like the paid accounts or the EDU accounts.
Oh, okay.
So the brand kit is good for that.
Well, and the other thing that I think that's nice about Canva is like you can upload your brand image and it stays in your uploads forever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you upload your if you don't have that type of an account, you can still just upload your images and they're always there. So if you've got to put your school logo on stuff, that's
absolutely
easy. Mm-hmm. So other things about Canva that your average user might not know.
I put these under the heading of "Did you know?"
Yes.
And I thought we'd test.
You're quizzing.
I thought we'd test Mindy on some of these. Okay. No, yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Can I Google the answers? No.
You absolutely can click on the links and see what's in there.
All right.
So this first one on here is the Canva Graph Maker.
I knew that this existed.
You knew that this existed.
I
awesome.
did, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So this is like a little tool that will walk you through step by step on how to create a graph. Mm-hmm. And it's not loading.
Oh. Well, you just toss your data into it, and it allows you to manipulate the graph just like you would like in Sheets, right?
So you put in the title of your document. So I'm just going to call this one Graph.
Listen to you typing away over there. Okay.
And it says, do you need help choosing the right graph for your project? And you say, no, I know the graph I need, or help me choose the graph type. So maybe you've got the data and you don't know what type of graph. So do you want to do comparisons, trends, relationships?
Oh, yeah. I did not know this existed.
Graphic organizer. So let's say we'll do comparisons. Then you've got bar graphs, donut charts. We talked about donuts today.
I could have a donut right now.
Yeah, we talked about donuts. T-charts, Venn diagrams, all kinds of stuff on there. So
I did not know that existed. I was just thinking of, because one of the options over in the left-hand navigation is charts, right? So that's what I was thinking you were talking about. Okay, so this is different.
Drag graphs in, but the other one is to go through the graph maker, and then it takes you to these awesome templates already built out.
They're really nice.
Yeah, with the type of template that you wanted, the type of graph that you wanted.
I like that one with the images.
Types of rocks, that one. So that was comparisons, and then you just sign into Canva and you're away you go,
huh? Nice.
So it's a little step-by-step wizard that will help you create a graph if you're not sure what type of graph you want.
Good one.
So there you go.
All right. What else you got for me?
Have you seen the color palette generator?
I don't know. Color palette generator. This isn't like what I was talking about before, where it's got all of the colors.
This is a little bit different.
Okay.
Because let's say you have an image that you really want to use.
Okay.
In your design.
Yes.
But you're not sure what, color the font should be, or
to
what
go
color.
With the image?
Yeah, to go with the image.
Okay. All right.
So what you can do is you can upload your image into the color palette generator. It analyzes all the tones and colors in your image and gives you a suggested color palette.
Oh. Do you agree with a suggested color palette? Are you like, oh yeah, those go? Or is it sometimes like, oh wow, that color seems weird?
Yeah, sometimes, but it just depends. If the picture is mainly blues, it's somebody standing next to a lake and they're wearing blue clothes.
Like, are they
you're going to get shades
skin
of blue.
Tones, or is it like, you know what I mean? Like, is it weird like that, or
not too weird? No, it's mostly just the dominant colors in the image to help you contrast and complement. Cool. Yeah, so that's something different.
All right.
Color meanings is on here too. I'll link to that one, which is we talk about like color theory when you think about. Like iTech just redid their logo, and they chose blue because it's sometimes associated with education and lots of people have a trust and things like that. What do certain colors mean and get associated with psychologically?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that is what that one is about there. So you can click on any of the colors there or just type any color name. And so if I'm reading more about pastel red right now. Oh, okay. It's a soft, muted shade of red. It gives you color combinations.
What emotions does it? Oh, yeah, look at that.
It gives you examples of the history of pastel red.
What's it mean? That's what I want to know.
Pastel red has a dreamy appearance that is more likely to be associated with
murder,
love and romance, as it's close to the color of rose flowers typically given on Valentine's Day, which is coming up.
Yeah, right around the corner.
So if you're designing something in Canva for Valentine's Day,
red.
I think pastel red is the one you need. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Okay.
And then we've also got color palette on here, which is just like a selection of colors that generally tend to go well together.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, I know what I want to design, and it'll give you like a green palette and a blue palette and just colors that go well together. Or if you're trying to put
together an outfit in the morning, just pull up your color palettes.
I'm sure that's what like Stitch Fix and people like that use.
Yes, they probably, I guarantee
Yeah.
they'd use something like that.
Some kind of color theory for that, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. So Canva size guide, is this something to do with the template sizes?
Yes.
That I alluded to before? Is there something more?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It's, for example, if you're thinking about creating a poster or a flyer or a Facebook post and all those things, like you said, this will... so if I click on Twitter here, it will tell you a header photo is this size, a profile photo is this size, a Twitter post is this size, and all the different things you need to think about.
Go into the Instagram one. Does it talk about IGTV in there? I have to look up that size every single, or just the IG.
It's got profile photos, square images, stories. Plus stories is that, isn't it? So if you're looking for specific sizes for different types of things, different types of paper. In the UK, we have this A4 paper instead of letter size.
Is it the same size, though?
It's close, but it's not the same size, no. Oh, okay. It's a little bit different. Because we just like to do things differently.
Yeah, so do we. So do we. Yep. Okay. Good one. Did I see somewhere in here, though, now, this is a paid thing, or it used to be, right? But maybe not with that education thing, is like, I love that Adobe Spark, you can flip-flop between templates and resize for different. So you can do that in Canva, but I thought that was a paid feature. But now I have that because I have Canva for Education.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's up in the top left-hand corner or somewhere. It says resize.
Okay.
So that's exactly what you're saying. You can't just create one image for Facebook and one for Instagram and one for Twitter. You have to but it does that magic where it just... you just choose
even
what you
with
want.
Adobe, you still have to resize your images and stuff on it, but at least the image size is correct.
Yes, and sometimes the font's a little bit not in the right place. You just have to drag it around a little bit, but it's super handy not to have to create individual graphics each time. Okay. Also super handy, and I think this is good for teachers. Okay. You know how in Google Docs you can do that URL trick where you put /template/preview.
Yes.
And it gives you the little link that says use template, and the kids will see it before they use it, and then they can have their own copy of it. Mm-hmm. You can do that in Canva now too.
You can.
So if you had, for instance, a graphic organizer that you wanted to share with all your kids.
Sure.
And you wanted them to use that one, but you wanted to keep your original.
Sure.
Then what you can do inside of Canva.
Right? You develop a template and then you share the link with the share button up in the right hand. What's the button up there? Share?
So the share button in the top right hand corner there's now, it's by default, it says share a link to edit. And if you click that, you'll see share a link to view, but you'll also see share a link to use as a template.
Nice.
So you can copy that link or put it into Google Classroom or something. And those... When you click on a Canva template, it's like, hey, do you want to use this one? And you say, yes, use it. It looks exactly the same for students now. So
but they have to have an account. You can't just, as a teacher, have a template and put it out to share with kids. They have to have an account.
Yes, in order to edit it. They can see the template without an account, but yes, to do their own editing, they can do that too. So I think that's a useful thing. You can drop it into Google Classroom or something like that too.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
Oh, speaking of Google Classroom.
Oh, okay.
When you come to the download menu in the top right-hand corner now, if you are a education Canva user, you will see Google Classroom there.
Oh, sure. There it is.
And when you tap Google Classroom, it will say, okay, choose the class you want to put that into. And then it says, do you want this as an assignment? Do you want to ask a question? Do you want to make an announcement or create material with that graphic?
Oh, so which one would you choose? Create assignment or create material? Materials go into their own little area in Classroom. So.
Yep. Maybe it's an announcement. It's like, yay, you all get no homework today.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
I'm behind that. Okay.
Yeah, I thought you might be. Yeah.
All right. So also on here, you have Canva apps like Giphy, Instagram, Google Maps, YouTube, QR codes. What's that mean?
You can now add these little plugins or something that you authorize with other apps. Okay. Where you can have those things in your designs. Yeah. So if you want to post something out your Instagram account or put a Google map on there. YouTube, I think, is more for because you can create presentations with Canva now. Yeah. And so you might want a YouTube video in there. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was interesting. You can also do QR codes. You can generate a QR code for your design. Or for something that you want to link to and put that straight on your design.
So Canva generates it?
Yes.
Interesting.
If you use the QR code app. Last but not least, I think your favorite thing is the GIFs.
I do love GIFs.
Yes.
So there's a Giphy app or add-on to Canva?
Well, I'm thinking about you can create your design and download it as a GIF now.
Yes.
Because I don't think that was was that in the free account before?
Well, I don't think so, because like those overlays that were like that made your image a GIF, because like there were some that were free, but not many, like maybe one, and it was like an arrow that like shot up across your image or something that. So then you could download it as a GIF, but I think most of the GIF overlays or video overlays, whatever, were paid for before your Canva for Education account.
I think the nice thing about downloading as a GIF now is that you can choose, like, have you seen these where you can choose the fade and the pan?
Oh, nice.
And how it all comes on in the screen?
Donut?
That is a donut.
Gosh.
Yeah. We got
it's
donuts
like I'm being
today.
tortured by donuts everywhere I look today. Okay.
Oh, we were talking about donuts, but you're very picky with donuts.
Well, I am picky about donuts.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's not the one you
I would
eat.
not eat that donut. It looks like a strawberry donut.
It's got like pink.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Or cherry. I think they're cherry. I think people eat cherry and blueberry donuts. Have you ever had one of those?
I don't think
it's like
I
a
would
very
want
particular
one of
type of
those.
person, and we're not friends. So, yes. Interesting.
So you can download as an MP4 or an animated GIF, and then your donut can...
Oh, you can. That was my next question. So you can download it as a movie.
Yeah, because you now have also the option of all these stock videos on the site now.
Oh my gosh, Canva.
Look, here's one of a cat.
What's the cat doing?
I don't know what the cat is doing. Oh, there you go. He's just like...
looking crabby, like a typical cat.
That's what cats like to do. Are there any videos of donuts, though? That's what we really need to find out. None. Okay.
Typical.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all right. That's nice because with the MP4, because I was just complaining about this the other day about, like, on Instagram, you can't use GIFs, so you have to create an MP4 like of a GIF repeating over and over again or whatever. So now I could just go into Canva and create it there and then export as an MP4, and then I could put it into Instagram.
Do it.
Okay. I will. Thank you.
My last trick for Canva, and I know we've mentioned this before, is design.new.
Okay. Yep.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
You can just open a new tab, type design.new, and you get a new Canva workspace.
That's great. Nobody cares.
Come on.
Nobody cares
What
about
do you
that
mean?
trick. Why do people care about that trick so much? Same thing with like docs.new or new.docs or whatever it is. Who cares? Go to your drive, organize it, put it where it's supposed to go, and then I don't understand, but whatever. Up next, my favorite part of the show is Tech Nuggets. I don't have great nuggets.
You don't have great nuggets?
I don't know. I don't. Well, they're fine. They're not going to be earth shattering. Although, okay. So, you know how you can use, maybe we don't. I'm going to start. If you are on a doc or a web page or a sheet or anywhere, you can use either Command F or Control F, depending on your device.
To find things on the page.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, got it.
That's the first part of my tech nugget. If you didn't know, you can do that. So the other day, I heard Gina ask Corey a question about in a Google Sheet if she could find and replace something in the Google Sheet with a formula. And Corey goes, "You don't need a formula for that. Just use Control F." And I said, "Wait, what?" So if you, like, if I use Control F in my Google Doc I'm in right now, I can, and I did this with your name.
What?
Not in this doc, but I can search for Wiley, W-Y-L-I-E, right? And it highlights Wiley in green.
Okay.
So in this little prompt, there are 3 little dots, as Google loves to hide their options. Okay, I click on that. It opens up Find and Replace. So I know you love this. I'm going to replace your name with W-I-L-E-Y.
Oh my gosh.
So now what I can do is I can find your name and replace it instead.
The 3 dots. I see those 3 dots.
So I have a replace with Wiley spelled incorrectly. I can replace just the one that, I can replace just one, or I can replace all of them through the doc. So if I've misspelled a word or something like that, I can go in and fix it, which would be great for names. Like I do this with Wes Kieschnick all the time. Like if I ever use Wes Kieschnick's name, I never spell his name correctly.
Me too.
And then I have to go back in and it's like Kiesch. I mean, I have to replace it every time. So if you were to have something like a big mess up, if you've had this huge mistake, I was like, oh, well, looky there. Who knew?
Amazing.
Did you know that existed?
I knew about find and replace. I didn't know it was hiding away there in that little 3-dot menu, because I usually have to dig around in the edit menu or something else to find that.
Yeah, no. It's in Control F.
All right then.
Okay. It's kind of a fun one. It's mostly fun to play jokes on like your coworkers, so just go in and
go into their doc and change their name to
every time you use the word the, I'm going to replace it with groundhog.
Oh, that would be a terrible one. All right, well, I'm going to start my nugget. I have the Statue of Liberty app for you, Mindy.
I can't wait to hear about this. I'm waiting all morning.
So this is a free app that I happened to find in the App Store. Okay. You know how they have that section called like Today or something? Yes. And it's just like all the news stories and things. Yep. And it was in there and I thought, I'm going to try that. That looks interesting.
Okay.
So they have different AR views from the Statue of Liberty. So maybe would it be helpful
not like
if
Google Expeditions though, right?
No,
like this
not
is
like
AR.
Expeditions. Okay. So this first one, I'll maybe see if I can get this to show you here.
Oh, look at that.
So we get this little part here, which is the torch. Okay, but now if you tap it, we get a view.
Oh, that's really neat.
From the torch at the top of the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. And there's this thing on the side here that will change it to
Ellis Island?
Yes. Yeah. And on the side it will change it to different times of the day. So you can see what it looks like at sunset.
Oh, pretty.
And
oh my
twilight.
Gosh. That's super cool.
And then at night. Okay?
Yeah.
Now that is just one of the Statue of Liberty features inside of this
I was
app.
like only one of the Statue of Liberties of the world? Okay.
Yes. Okay, so this one is how the Statue of Liberty was made from the inside out. So again, we have to do the, the scan around the floor thing here. And
today. Okay.
So here it is. Okay, tap anywhere to place the statue, and so
we've got to scale.
We've got the statue. Well, watch this part though.
Okay.
As you look up, so we've got the statue in the middle of our room here.
Yeah.
And as you look up at the top,
you can see the sky.
It turns into sky. I know.
Oh, that's super neat.
We've got the statue here. We've got facts that we can turn on. So if you tap on parts of the statue, it tells you some facts and figures. It stands 300 feet, 1 inch above Liberty Island. And then we've also got the time machine part here. Look at this. That's
what she looked like at the start. Isn't that crazy? She's
when
so
the copper was not weathered.
Yes.
And then you can come through the timeline here.
Wow.
And it changes all through time.
Yeah.
And then there's the X-ray function.
Oh, nice.
That lets you see the structure inside of the lady.
Yes.
And the spiral staircase that goes all the way up to the top.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They also have, there's 2 more. Okay. One is just, they call it an experience. It's not really like an AR or VR type thing. It's more like a little movie, a 360 movie. And this is what it looks like when you look over the river here and how the river traffic has changed over the years.
Oh, wow.
So this is 1900s, 1950, 2000. And it shows you things like you see here, like the Twin Towers when they got built and then when they came down and when the Freedom Tower went up. So that's kind of an interesting thing to talk about too. Last but not least is based from the museum that is at the Statue of Liberty. I've never been, but apparently in the museum they have a life-size version of the foot of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, so that you can see for scale like how big it actually is. Well, you can do that with AR as well. Okay, so tap to place the foot. And so the foot is here. And the first thing I'll say is view actual size.
Oh, wow.
Then it blows up in your face.
Oh, yeah, it does.
And you've got this is how big the foot of the Statue of Liberty is.
Neat.
So they have little stories that go along with all of this too, little information things. It's a free app for iOS, and
nice.
I think this is something like the future of Google Expeditions.
Yeah.
Should be not just either AR or VR. It should maybe be like a combined experience.
Yeah, right.
You know, we think about when we're teaching that expeditions, it's very much teacher driven. You should do this, and then we're going to do this, and I'm going to lock all your screens. And there's times for that.
Yeah.
But I think you need also time just to let the kids go and explore and try this and see it in AR, see it in VR. Yeah. Read all the comments and articles that go with it. So...
Well, yeah, and I think it's interesting because I think that actually drums up questions for kids instead of just being like, oh, well, today we're going to look at the foot of the Statue of Liberty. If you allow them to look at like how time has passed and how things have changed, it makes kids question without us framing questions that they have to answer. And that's the most important part of learning is when students do the questioning, not the teachers. So
that almost takes us full circle back to what you talked about at the beginning. Look at you running things off. But we're not done yet because Mindy has a second nugget.
I do have one quick little nugget. So as some of you may know, Amber and I run a Makey workshop where we train teachers how to use Makey just for a day. But we also have a course called Designing Connections with Makey, which is really more about the practice and the integration of using a Makey with our students. Well, Amber, we just did a Makey workshop like last week, and she pointed out that Makey now has all of these projects that are housed within Instructables. Instructables is really neat because it's got all of these ideas and even recipe cards, mostly, of how to create things. Well, Makey now lives there as far as different projects. And during our Designing Connections class, one of the components of that class is that you have to post here. You have to share something that you've made. Well, now they are having a competition of Makey Instructables that are being put in so that you can win a $500 Amazon gift card.
That's a good prize.
It is, especially since right now there are only 8 entries.
Ooh, so your odds are pretty good right now?
Your odds are great right now. So I believe that this closes, I think maybe the beginning of March, although I can't say that 100%. I feel like I saw that somewhere. It says there's only 25 days left to enter. So it's the beginning of February right now. So that's got to be close to beginning of March, I'm sorry. And so the way that you win is people go in then and vote. So you want to share with your friends, hey, go in and vote for my Instructable. But if nothing else, it's going to get you to Instructables to see what's going on there. But I think once again, we come back to how important it is to share the things that you're doing in your class.
Oh, yeah.
And you can also, one of the things here, it's not like this earth-shattering idea, but it's something that teachers could do. And it's a Makey electric drum. And it's plates covered with tin foil that are hooked up to the Makey, and you clap those together to complete the circuit, and it makes a drum sound. Simple, but a great idea and something that you can do with your kids. There's a Is It Conductive Makey experiment. Simple, right? It's just, this one is a little bit more, but they've got pieces of broccoli, like hook up the broccoli. Is that conductive? So if you haven't been there, go there. If you are using Makey, add something and let us share the money with us.
Share the money with us?
Share the money, yeah. I've got a shopping problem.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So Amazon $500 gift card is the grand prize.
But it says here there are 19 prizes.
Well,
and so far there are 8 entries. So the grand prize is $500. There are 3 $250 gift cards for first prize. There are 5 $100 gift cards for second prize. And then they have 10 t-shirts to give away.
Yep. Put one in.
Put one in.
Folks,
and you know what? I went to the Hummingbird workshop that Amber and Corey did the other day.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes if you are like a coach or somebody and you're trying to get people using Makeys or Hummingbirds and things like that, it's like, it can be a hard sell sometimes if you don't have like a winning idea or something that directly ties this to things that people are doing. So you want more ideas. You want more examples.
Yep.
And I think if you come here, you're going to find some of those.
Yes, right.
All right.
Okay.
And my last tech nugget then is, well, I took a leaf out of your book here.
I was going to say, is this a blog post of yours?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Last week you shared a tech nugget that wasn't really a tech nugget, you said.
Now you're judging my tech nuggets?
No, I'm
what tech nugget was it? Oh.
I think it was your Google Doc of instructional strategies and things like that on there.
Yes.
Your self-promotional one. Well, this one is not self-promotional.
Oh, okay.
But I found there's a teacher online who has created a guide for podcasting in the classroom.
Okay.
It's by Michael Hernandez, and
it's in Book Creator.
He created it inside of Book Creator. Huh. So I know you've said now and again that, hey, we don't use Book Creator very much, and I just think this is a really interesting. Look at the design that he has laid out here.
Oh,
He's got images and pictures and little audio files that you can play. So not only is it a fun way to learn about how to do things with podcasting, and it goes over a lot of the stuff we've talked about before with planning and scripting, and then it goes into recording and the different tools you can use. But not only that, it is a great example of what you can do with Book Creator and how you can make things look pretty fantastic.
It looks great.
It does, doesn't it? So just a short nugget on podcasting in the classroom, and it is a Book Creator example. I will put a link to that in the show notes.
That's nice.
You are welcome.
I like that a lot. I think that's really interesting. I mean, I always try and put it in my own context, right? Like, would it be more engaging if we're sharing materials with our teachers if it looked like that?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people would enjoy that better. The problem is it was pretty small. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to zoom in on it, but I like that there's audio files in there too.
And they do have those accessibility features, like read aloud and all that kind of stuff in there too. Well, speaking of podcasts, I got two quick little podcast nuggets here. These could almost have been used in follow-up, but we decided to trash that for this week.
We did. Yeah.
But since we're talking podcasts, you can now play this podcast on your Amazon smart speaker.
Oh, my. Wow.
I know. So if you use Apple Podcasts on your iPhone or your iPad or maybe even your Mac, I guess, you can have the lady in the can.
Alexa.
That's the one.
Play EdTech Takeout.
Yeah, and she will play the EdTech Takeout for you on your smart speaker. And I also saw this was just fun. Podcasts are here forever because the U.S. Library of Congress is adding podcasts to its archive as part of its mission to collect and preserve sound recordings.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like we're going to get an email from them soon just to say, hey, we would like to add you to the archive.
Yeah, right.
And the British Library's Sound Archive is doing something similar.
Of course they are.
Well, you know.
The British.
Well, yeah. We probably thought of it first.
You probably did.
I don't know. Yeah. But I saw that in the news and I thought, it's just something fun.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe a commentary on how media is changing over time from just books to electronic formats too.
All
so
right.
that's it.
That's it.
We are done for another podcast.
Yes, we are.
I almost thought this one wouldn't happen.
I know.
We weren't sure what to do this one on.
Yesterday we looked at each other like, what are we going to do tomorrow? So if you have ideas, we're taking ideas from our listeners, right?
We're open to listener ideas. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So until next time.
This has been the EdTech Takeout. We hope it hit the spot.
For more information on today's episode, please visit dlgwaea.org/podcast.